1 spoon before bed to strengthen your bones in weeks. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that your bones, something you've never really thought about, are already weakening. You feel fine. You look fine. But inside, silent deterioration might already be happening. That's the thing about bone health. It rarely shouts until it's too late. In fact, by the time most people experience a fracture, their bone loss has been happening for years without any symptoms. Osteoporosis affects over 200 million people worldwide, and 1 in 3 women over 50 will suffer an osteoporotic fracture in their lifetime. For men, it's 1 in 5. And the scary part? Many of these people didn't even know their bones were at risk. We spend so much time focusing on visible signs of health. Clear skin, shiny hair, fit bodies. But what about the silent structure that holds everything together? Your bones are more than a frame. They're living, dynamic tissues constantly breaking down and rebuilding. And just 1 daily spoonful of a specific natural remedy before bed can tip the balance in favor of rebuilding. Let's talk about that. So, what is this 1 spoon that can strengthen your bones in just weeks? It's sesame seed paste, also known as tahini. This ancient food isn't just for your hummus. It's a powerhouse of minerals, vitamins, and bone-supporting compounds that quietly do the work while you rest. That 1 spoon before bed isn't a gimmick. It's a nutritional ritual packed with science. And in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly why. The first benefit? It delivers a rich supply of calcium in a highly absorbable form. Most people hear the word calcium and immediately think of milk. It's been drilled into our heads since childhood that strong bones equal dairy. But here's the twist. 1 tablespoon of sesame paste, tahini, can offer more bioavailable calcium than a glass of milk, and it does so with a smarter, more supportive nutrient package. While a glass of milk contains about 300 milligrams of calcium, it often comes with saturated fats, lactose, and sometimes hormones which don't work for everyone. Sesame, on the other hand, delivers calcium in a form that's easier for your body to actually absorb and use, especially when eaten at night before bed. Here's why that matters. Calcium doesn't work in isolation. For your bones to actually utilize it, you need the right cofactors, and that's where sesame truly shines. It naturally comes packed with magnesium and phosphorus, 2 minerals that work hand in hand with calcium to ensure it's embedded properly into your bones, rather than floating around uselessly in your bloodstream or, worse, getting deposited in arteries. Magnesium, in particular, acts as a gatekeeper. Without it, calcium can't be properly transported or absorbed into bone tissue. Phosphorus plays a key role in forming hydroxyapatite, the mineral matrix that gives bones their structure and strength. Even more fascinating, the calcium in sesame comes from a plant-based source, which means it's free from casein, a milk protein that can interfere with calcium absorption in some people, and doesn't cause the mild acid-forming effect dairy can in the body. When your body becomes slightly acidic, it pulls minerals like calcium from the bones to balance pH, ironically weakening them over time. Sesame helps avoid that problem by supporting a more balanced, bone-friendly environment internally. Another interesting point, timing matters. Taking a spoon of tahini before bed means your body has the entire night, when bone turnover and repair naturally increase, to use those minerals effectively. You're not just eating calcium, you're syncing with your body's natural rhythm to rebuild and strengthen while you sleep. So next time you reach for bone support, don't stop at the milk aisle. That humble spoonful of sesame paste could be doing more for your bones than you ever imagined, and it comes with fewer side effects, more supporting nutrients, and a proven track record in both traditional and modern nutrition science. Second, sesame is loaded with magnesium, and that's a game changer for bone health. Did you know that your bones aren't just made of calcium, but are actually one of the biggest reservoirs of magnesium in your body? In fact, around 60% of your body's total magnesium is stored right inside your bones, silently supporting their structure and strength. But here's the catch: if your magnesium levels drop, your body starts pulling it out from your bones to support other essential functions like nerve signaling, muscle contraction, and heart rhythm. And when that happens repeatedly, Your bones slowly lose density without you even feeling it. That's where sesame steps in as a true ally. 1 spoon of sesame paste offers a generous dose of magnesium in a natural, balanced form, and unlike isolated supplements, it doesn't work alone. Sesame's magnesium is part of a nutrient trio that includes calcium and phosphorus, and all 3 minerals interact through vitamin D-dependent pathways. Think of it like a team effort. Magnesium makes sure calcium gets absorbed properly and stays in solution within your bloodstream. Without enough magnesium, calcium can actually misbehave, depositing in soft tissues like arteries instead of bones, leading to calcification and long-term complications. Even more, magnesium from sesame plays a role in activating calcitonin, a hormone that helps shift calcium into your bones and prevents it from leaking out. This is especially important as we age or go through hormonal shifts like menopause, when bone turnover speeds up. The presence of magnesium can slow bone loss by lowering the activity of osteoclasts, the cells that break down bone tissue, while supporting the work of osteoblasts that build it up. In a large cross-sectional study involving postmenopausal women, those with higher magnesium intake were found to have significantly greater bone mineral density and fewer age-related fractures. And guess what? Many of them weren't supplementing. They were just eating magnesium-rich whole foods like nuts and seeds, including sesame. So while most people focus only on calcium, it's magnesium that's quietly orchestrating where that calcium ends up. And sesame paste? It's not just tasty. It's a smart, synergistic delivery system that gives your bones exactly what they need to rebuild and stay resilient. The third benefit is the presence of lignans. Let's explore what these are and how they help. Ever wondered why bone loss seems to accelerate so rapidly in women after menopause? The answer lies in a silent hormonal shift, a steep drop in estrogen, the very hormone that protects bones from thinning. Without it, the rate at which bones break down speeds up, often outpacing the body's ability to rebuild them. But here's where nature steps in with a clever solution. Lignans, particularly sesamin and sesamoline, found abundantly in sesame seeds. These compounds are more than just antioxidants. They're phytoestrogens, plant-based substances that mimic the action of estrogen in the body, but in a much milder, safer way. When natural estrogen levels decline, these lignans can step in to fill the gap, binding to estrogen receptors in bone tissue and helping maintain bone density. This isn't just theoretical. Controlled studies have shown that daily intake of lignin-rich foods like sesame led to improved bone metabolism markers in postmenopausal women, suggesting real changes in how the body regulates bone turnover. What's truly fascinating is how these lignans support a delicate balance. They don't just slow down bone loss by calming overactive osteoclasts, the cells that break bone down. They also promote the activity of osteoblasts. These builders lay down new bone. This dual action helps preserve both bone quality and structure, which is especially critical as we age. But the story doesn't end there. Sesamin and sesamoline are also powerful antioxidants, meaning they help combat oxidative stress, a sneaky but significant contributor to bone weakening. Oxidative stress can trigger chronic, low-grade inflammation, which not only disrupts bone formation, but can also speed up the degradation of existing bone. By neutralizing free radicals and calming inflammation, these lignans protect the cells and enzymes involved in maintaining strong bones. In short, sesame's lignans are doing double duty, gently balancing hormones while shielding your bones from inflammatory and oxidative damage. And because they're naturally present in a food you can enjoy daily, like a spoon of tahini before bed, it's an easy, accessible way to build hormone-friendly, resilient bones without reaching for pharmaceuticals. Especially for women navigating postmenopausal changes, this tiny seed holds powerful potential to keep you standing strong. Fourth, sesame is a surprising source of zinc, a trace mineral that doesn't get as much attention, but plays a key role in maintaining the structural integrity of bone tissue. Have you ever thought about what actually gives bones their resilience? Not just their hardness, but their ability to bend slightly under pressure without snapping. That's the work of collagen, the protein matrix that forms the flexible scaffolding beneath all that calcium and mineral buildup. And to make that collagen, your body needs zinc, a mineral that often gets overlooked when we talk about bone health, but plays a critical, behind-the-scenes role. Zinc isn't just a helper, it's a core component of collagen synthesis. Without enough of it, the body struggles to produce strong, healthy collagen fibers. And here's where it gets interesting. Even if your bones are packed with calcium, they can still be brittle if the collagen framework is weak. That's why bone density alone isn't the whole picture. Bone quality matters just as much. It's not about how thick your bones are, but how well they can absorb shock and recover from everyday stress. Sesame seeds, especially in their raw paste form, contain a modest but meaningful amount of bioavailable zinc, making them a natural, food-based way to support collagen production nightly. And the science backs this up. In a 12-month study on elderly participants, those who received consistent zinc supplementation showed a significant rise in markers of bone formation, such as alkaline phosphatase, and a notable drop in bone resorption indicators like deoxypyridinoline. In simpler terms, more bone was being built and less was being lost. Zinc also supports the activity of osteoblasts, the bone-building cells, while slowing down osteoclasts, which are responsible for breaking down bone tissue. That's exactly the kind of shift you want, especially as you age or recover from injury. On top of that, zinc plays a part in the immune system, and chronic inflammation, often stemming from immune imbalance, is a known disruptor of bone remodeling. So by calming inflammation and supporting tissue repair, zinc protects bone health from multiple angles. The fifth benefit is that it promotes better sleep quality, and that ties directly to bone regeneration. Have you ever wondered when your bones actually repair themselves? It's not during your workout or while you're walking around getting things done. It's while you sleep. That's right. Deep, uninterrupted sleep is the body's prime time for bone regeneration. And sesame seeds, as small as they are, play a surprisingly powerful role in making that repair process smoother and more effective. Here's how. Sesame seeds contain tryptophan, an essential amino acid that your body uses to produce serotonin and melatonin, two key brain chemicals that help regulate mood, relaxation, and the sleep cycle. Serotonin calms the mind and helps you unwind, while melatonin signals your body that it's time to sleep. When you consume tryptophan-rich foods like sesame paste before bed, you're giving your body the raw material it needs to naturally boost these sleep-supporting hormones, without any artificial aids or medications. But what does sleep have to do with bones? Quite a lot, actually. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, a key hormone responsible for tissue repair, muscle recovery, and most importantly, bone building. This hormone signals osteoblasts, the cells that create new bone, to get to work. It's essentially your body's nighttime repair crew. Without good sleep, this hormone release is blunted, and bone repair slows down dramatically. That's why chronic sleep deprivation isn't just exhausting, it's actually a risk factor for weaker bones over time. So when you take a spoonful of tahini before bed, you're doing more than feeding your body calcium, magnesium, and zinc. You're helping it initiate the entire cascade of restorative processes that happen during sleep. It's like setting up the perfect conditions for your bones to quietly strengthen while you rest. And for those who struggle with falling asleep, this simple habit can double as a gentle, natural sleep aid. No pills, no side effects, just a nutrient-dense food helping your body do what it's designed to do. Repair, restore, and regenerate from the inside out. Here's a benefit most people don't even consider when it comes to bone health. Sesame seeds help regulate blood sugar levels, and that matters more than you think for your bones. Elevated blood sugar, especially when it becomes chronic, doesn't just impact your energy or weight, it directly harms your skeletal system. High glucose levels can lead to the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which damage collagen in bones and make them more brittle. It also triggers low-grade inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate bone loss. Sesame seeds, however, contain compounds that naturally help stabilize blood sugar. One of them is sesame, which has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce glucose absorption in the gut. On top of that, sesame is rich in healthy fats, fiber, and protein, all of which slow down the digestion of carbohydrates and prevent sudden spikes in blood sugar after meals. This means that having sesame paste before bed not only supports bone repair during sleep, but also keeps blood sugar levels steady through the night. Why does this matter? Because stable blood sugar allows for more balanced hormonal signaling, including the release of growth hormone and the regulation of cortisol, both of which affect how your bones rebuild and recover. In fact, several studies have shown that people with poorly controlled diabetes tend to have lower bone mineral density and are at a significantly higher risk for fractures, even if their bones appear dense on scans. That's because metabolic imbalance weakens the quality and flexibility of bone. Last but not least, sesame seeds strengthen your bones by regulating your hormonal cycle. Most people don't realize how deeply interconnected our endocrine system is with our skeletal system. When hormones shift, whether it's estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, or even thyroid hormones, your bones often feel the impact first. Sesame seeds are rich in phytoestrogens, particularly lignans like sesamin and sesamoline, which gently support estrogen balance in the body. But beyond estrogen-mimicking effects, sesame also contains key nutrients like vitamin B6, zinc, and healthy omega-6 fats that help regulate the production and conversion of other hormones involved in stress and inflammation. Vitamin B6, for instance, is essential for synthesizing neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which play a role in regulating the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, the part of your brain that controls how your body responds to stress. Why does that matter for your bones? Because chronic stress elevates cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. When cortisol stays high for extended periods, it actually begins to pull calcium from the bones, suppress osteoblast activity, the cells that build bone, and enhance the action of osteoclasts, the cells that break it down. This imbalance leads to a net loss in bone mass and structure over time. That's why people who live under constant stress or suffer from conditions like Cushing's syndrome or chronic anxiety often show signs of weakened bones, even at a young age. By supporting hormone balance, especially stress hormone regulation, sesame indirectly creates a healthier internal environment where bone metabolism can remain steady and functional. And this benefit isn't limited to postmenopausal women. Even men, young adults, and athletes under physical stress can benefit from sesame's adaptogenic-like effects on the hormonal system. As for how much to take, 1 tablespoon of raw tahini or crushed sesame paste, about 30 minutes before bedtime, is ideal. You can eat it straight or stir it into warm almond milk with a dash of cinnamon for a calming nightcap. Make sure the sesame is unsweetened and minimally processed to retain its active compounds. Black sesame seeds may even offer more potent effects due to higher antioxidant levels. Want to take it up a notch? Combine sesame paste with a spoon of raw honey or a sprinkle of turmeric. Curcumin in turmeric has been shown to boost bone density and reduce inflammation. Perfect partner. But just like with everything, moderation matters. While sesame is generally safe, people with sesame allergies, gallbladder issues, or those on blood-thinning medications should consult their doctor. Also, because it's calorie-dense, sticking to 1 tablespoon is enough. More isn't always better. And who can benefit the most from this? Definitely women approaching menopause, anyone with a family history of osteoporosis, people with autoimmune diseases, and even athletes recovering from injury. Also, if you're someone who rarely consumes dairy or is on a vegan diet, sesame could be a game-changer for meeting your mineral needs without supplements. You might be wondering, does this really work? A double-masked clinical trial conducted over 8 weeks found that participants who consumed sesame regularly experienced significant improvements in bone metabolism markers, reduced joint pain, and better sleep. Another study involving over 800 adults showed that those with higher dietary sesame intake had 15 to 18% higher bone density scores, even when controlling for age and lifestyle.